Well, good evening, and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, encourage, and empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. I'm Anna. I'm your host. I am an author and educational consultant, a jewelry consultant, a health consultant, and I'm also a certified cake instructor. So I bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation. Each episode, I try to dive into topics that will enrich your life, whether it's from educational and personal development to health and wellness and to the art of jewelry and, of course, jewelry wearing. So, I do this by providing workshops and speakers, and sometimes I just do, just provide knowledge. So right now I'm doing a series on cake decorating. I'm still a cake instructor, but I was taught cake decorating for over 25 years, along with teaching school. Okay, I did it part time, and so. I am going to be teaching, the company encouraged me as well, but a lot of people have encouraged me to teach online. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach online and in person. So I'm doing what is called a little snippet of what is going to be offered in the classes. And so for the past maybe 4 or 5 weeks, I've been talking about course one, which is called Decorating Basics. And tonight, I'm just going to do a little conclusion of it. Remember that this is just a snippet of the class. And basically, what I did was I'm going to review it tonight of what we covered so far in this class. But this, like I say, it's just a little snippet of what's in the class that will be offered. I will be offering Decorating Basics in September. And it is a 4-week class. It goes 4 weeks for 2 hours, and I will teach you the fundamentals of cake decorating, really the basics. It's going to teach you the Wilton method because that's the method that I learned um, up under. So I want you to join me as we explore stories and different things and expert insights and practical um, advice to help us live that blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. So I want to again say thank you for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So we're going to take a brief commercial, and then when I come back, we're going to delve into the S.O.S. cake. All right.
Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment. A perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters, and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more, ready to shine on the global stage. Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.
All right, welcome back. I'm Anna. I'm your host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And I just want to say congratulations. Congratulations are in order. Okay. Bakers, for all of you who have attended these little snippets that I have did for course one, which is called the Decorating Basics course. You've mixed, you've measured, and you've mastered the foundation of cake baking. So from understanding ingredients to leveling and layering like a pro, course one sets the stage for beautiful bakery worthy creations. So as we close this first course and as we review, I want to highlight what we've learned and also to prepare you to level up in the next section because it's all totally different. All of the classes are totally different. Okay. And like I said, it's a 4-week class for 2 hours. So you have to set that aside. There is a fee, sorry, but there is a fee and there is a supply list. So you'll hear me talking about things as I go, and I show sometime, during the other presentations, I showed you items, and I just wanted to let you know that you can get those items at my Amazon store. So as we go through this, if you see something, you might want to jot down um, my Amazon store, which is this. I'm going to put it up there for you. Anna's Treasures OC 20. And I've got hashtag ad because this is an ad and it's a disclaimer. I just wanted to let you know that you're not obligated, but it would be helpful. I mean, if you want to get it, you can go to the store and get it, but it's right there and it'll be delivered straight to your door. If you're interested in taking the class, I'm just letting you know. All right, so let me bring up, let me get my presentation here. Because remember, S.O.S, cake, save your bakes like a pro. Now, does that cake look familiar there, y'all? Remember I did the cupcake on top of the cake? Well, that is a different way that you can do it. It's the same premise, the same thing. But I wanted to let you know those are that is that same star tip, which I only demonstrated one technique to you. And but the star tip, most all of the tips that they have in for cake decorating do more than one function. So I want you to let you know it is if you're interested, it is a great investment, whether you're just doing it just for a family or for professional baking. The tips and things last for a long time. And so that is what we're going to kind of review on what I have covered. So the first thing that we covered was how to bake a great cake. And we talked about how we should preheat our oven for 10 to 15 minutes. And we also wanted to use a pastry brush to gently spread the cake release or the bake easy in the pans. And you want to make sure that you measure the liquids in standard measuring cups. And I kind of went briefly over that the measuring cups come in liquid and dry, you all. So you want to make sure that you are using liquid measuring cups, okay? You want to beat your batter only the time required for the recipe. Beat your batter only the time required for the recipe. And I say that because most recipes have a time limit on when you do it, even if you're using a box a box cake, it's going to have a time limit on it. So for your pans that hold more than one cake mix, you want to mix those cake mixes separately and then add to the pan. And then you want to also increase your baking time. You want to prepare your pans by wrapping them with the bake even strips because this helps the cake bake evenly. Okay, that moisture in those strips. I talked about that. And um, after you mix your batter, you want to make sure that you bake it immediately after mixing. And then you want to allow maybe 1 inch between the pans in the oven. Okay. Remember to test your cake for doneness while they are still in the oven. Do not take it out and test it. Test it while it's still in the oven. You can use a toothpick to test it. I showed you a tool that I use. It's just a little, it looks like a little ice pick, a little long thing on it, and you stick it down. If it comes out clean, fine. But it's nothing wrong with using a toothpick or a knife. Some people use knives as well for that technique. It's what you do. And I used to use a toothpick or a knife before I got into selling, um, teaching cake decorating. So I'm just saying that for you so that um, so you'll know what's expected and what you could hope to accomplish with the cakes. Okay. You want to cool your cake in the pan for 10 minutes. It is very important that you cool your pan for 10 minutes. I'm literally 10 minutes raw. I mean, you can go over a little bit, but I wouldn't go. If you go over too much, it's going to stick. And I'm going to talk about the common cake mistakes at the end because these are all the things that I covered in this series of the past 5 weeks. Okay. So then you want to remove your cake and you want to place parchment paper over the rack and invert the cake and rack. And the parchment paper, what it does, it keeps the cake from getting the lines on the rack that parchment paper does. And as I go through these examples and everything, and you'll see I use parchment paper a lot, and parchment paper is one of those things that you can also use in multiple ways. So I just wanted to let you know that. Also, uniced cakes can be frozen for 3 months. I don't know if you all know that. All you have to do is to wrap it in heavy duty foil. I wrapped mine, and you saw that. I demonstrated that because I had a cake. I leveled it, I tore it, and I wrapped it up, and I used it the following week to demonstrate that to you. But an uniced cake can be frozen for 3 months. All you got to do is wrap it in heavy duty foil. What I really did was I wrapped mine in saran wrap, then heavy duty foil, and then I put it in the freezer bag, and then I put it in the refrigerator. You want to make sure that you completely defrost the cake before icing. So even though I put it in the freezer, the next week I took it out that morning so that it would be completely um, defrost, so that I could demonstrate, icing to you, how you would do the icing and everything. So we covered all of those things, how to bake a great cake. Then we talked about icing ingredients. And I explained to you that I was using um, a classroom icing. This is the icing that I used when I was teaching. This is not the icing that I use all the time when I bake my cakes. I'm going to be honest with you. But this is a great icing to help you understand the consistency, because consistency is one of the major parts in cake decorating. So I brought all those items out. I brought the shortening out. I made the icing in one of the videos. I explained to you about the flavors that the flavors come in drip, drip things and different things. And we talked about the flavors and the colors. Okay. We talked about milk or water. And I told you can make this icing with milk, but you would have to refrigerate it. However, if you made it with water, you did not have to refrigerate it and it would last 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. And that's why it's such a good uh, ex, icing for a classroom, because you don't want to be making icing every week. I'm going to be honest with you. You don't want to do that. Okay. Unless you're making cakes every week and, that's what you're doing. But I talked to you about meringue powder, which I explained to you that meringue powder is just an egg white. Uh, it is a substitute for people who and we make the icing like with this, but some people can't have eggs, and so meringue powder is an egg substitute. Okay. And then pure cane sugar is important. I told you the importance of using pure cane sugar. Now, the icing that I made, it calls for salt if it's too sweet, because this is a sweet icing. But I do want to say I don't put salt in mine because, I watch my salt intake. But I put it up there because some people, it's too salty. It's too sweet for them, and they put the salt kind of tones it down. But the icing is good for training the consistency of icing, because when you make this icing, you're going to have a stiff, a medium, and a thin. And I kind of explained to everyone, and I kind of showed them the icings. There's different icings that you could buy. You can buy icings at the store, but the icings that you buy at the store are thin icings. They're strictly just for icing a cake. And so thin icings, which I explained, is for icing cakes and doing writing on cakes. Okay, so those tubs or whatever you buy in the store are icings for that um, job specifically. Okay. Medium icing, which is something that they don't sell unless you're going to buy, and I showed you two of the products that you could use if you wanted to buy an icing. And they don't sell these icings at the grocery store. You have to go to uh, uh, Walmart, or you can go to the Wilton store. You can order them online, like I said, at my store. But it's one of them is the Wilton buttercream icing. It comes medium, and so therefore, because most of the flowers and everything that you make in cake decorating, you use medium icing. And I put the icing in the cup. I showed you that when you get it, when you make it, it's stiff. Stiff icing is really good for roses, for those flowers that you see sitting up buttercream flowers. It has to be stiff so that they stick up. So that's why it's important that you learn the consistency of the icings: the stiff, the medium, and the thin. Okay, I think we're gonna take a little commercial, and then we'll be right. We'll be right back. Okay, and I'll continue this. All right, we are back. We are back. And I'm Anna. I'm your host for Sweet Blessings and L Brothers Show and Podcast. And I am wrapping up a little snippet of course number one, which I will be offering in September. I'm hoping that you will take it, and I'm just reviewing some of the things that I covered in there. And so when we talk about cake decorating, we must talk about the three keys to success. So, icing is the first key to success in cake decorating. Almost any problem that you're going to have, if you don't have that icing right, you're not going to be successful. So it's important that you get the icing right. And I know some people say, since I'm going to be offering this class and I'm going to be offering it online, but I've been teaching long enough where I can look and I can tell. I can look at it. You're going to show me. It's not, we're not going to be on this type. It's going to be a classroom situation, like a Zoom or something like that. So we can all see what everybody is doing and everything. And we can discuss. And it's good. That's a good thing to be able to do that, because sometimes people have lots and lots of questions, about cake decorating, okay, or how to do that. And I'll tell you seriously that I was always a baker, but not a decorative baker. So I learned how to decorate cakes later on in my life. And I was just fortunate. I guess I had a gift. Someone saw something in me and referred me, and that's why I'm here today doing this. So, I always say God places things in your life. Okay. So then the next thing, uh, the two remaining keys to success is the correct bag position. And I kind of went over the bag position. If you watch that video that I streamed where I showed you the clock and how your bag should be positioned and everything when you are decorating, and also the pressure control. And I told you the only way that you can get that pressure under control is that you have to practice. So we will have time in class where you can practice, and you can ask me all kind of questions and everything, because you will be adjusting the consistency of your buttercream icing depending on the decorations that you will be making. So it's important that um, you understand that. So it's just those three things. It almost sounds like me and my in my other business, my paparazzi business, three ways to, but anyway, there's three ways, three keys to success in cake decorating. And my job is to teach you how to decorate like a pro. And I have been very, very successful in that. I am very, very proud of my students that I've had, and some of them have gone on and done wonderful things. You know what I'm saying? My job is just to teach, and I'm grateful for that. That is my gift. I know, right? I know now that is my gift. I thought it was teaching school, but it is to teach. My job, my gift is to teach. Okay. It doesn't matter what it is, because I've been teaching all my life, Sunday school. I mean, it doesn't matter. So that is what, like I tell people all the time, you have to find your gift. I have a cat, y'all. So let's go on. And then I talked about baking accessories. Every time I do this, it has a little glitch in it, but that's okay. We're gonna be okay with this little glitch there. Baking accessories. And there was a lot of them. And what I told you with the baking accessories, if you decide to take the class, is that you spend money. I cannot and will not be deceitful with you. Cake decorating is expensive, and the foundation courses is where you spend a lot of money. Once you get out of like the foundation, because that's where your pans come in, everything is there when you build in that foundation. But these are some of the baking accessories that I use during this 5 week period. Okay. And remember that it's only like 40 minutes that I'm doing this, whereas the classes that I will be offering will be for 2 hours for 4 weeks. Okay. So I talked about decorating bags, and I told you there was three types. There's a featherweight bag, which we can use all the time. Just you put it in the dishwasher, everything. Disposable bag. Disposable bags is just what it is, a disposable bag. You use it, you toss it after you use it. And then there's parchment sheets. Now, I didn't go over the parchment sheets, but I told you about them. And I will go over those parchment sheets in course number 2 when I get that little snippet. I talked about decorating couplets, the ring and the top, and the icing bag holders. That was a little tray where you could stick your bags in. And I also talked about the ties. So for people who their hands, they older, you might be suffering from arthritis, and they could use these ties. I talked about also, and I showed you the silicone decorating tip covers, and there was two types, a small one and a large one that you would put over the tips, so that your icing doesn't dry out, and you can also store them like that. I demonstrated the turntables. I talked about cake levelers. I did a small cake level, which I leveled the cake, but I also showed you a larger one that you could use for sheet cake. I talked about tips, and I demonstrated one tip, the star tip. And I attempted to show you the cupcake, as well as putting little designs on the cake, as well as making a border with that star. But there are other things that you can do with that star. And in course 1, there, like I said, there's 6 types of tips. And in course 1, we go over all those types of tips and how they work and everything. I showed you the dishwasher and storage bags that I use to put my tips in, and I can just put them in there and in the bag and wash them. You can just throw it in a dishwasher and everything. Hot water, that's all I use, hot water. I showed you a tip brush, so if it's really like a little bitty hole, you can go in there with the brush. I also showed you the tip saver, so because mishaps happen, and you might drop one on the floor or something like that, or something, you set something on it, might bend out of shape. And I want you to realize that even though it bends out of shape, you can still use it. That's why we have the tip saver. So it opens it up both ways, from the bottom of it to also the top. And then I also demonstrated and showed you my tip saver kit, where I have tips, different tips in there, and I told you I had about 5 or 6 of them, maybe more than that, of the tip saver kits as well, with all of my uh, tips and everything in it. So, getting started. This is where I showed you the star tip, and I showed you the different sizes, and I told you that there was um, different sizes or in each one of those tips. Like the star tip, there was a 14, there's a 16, there's an 18, there's a 1M. They come in various sizes, but it's a star tip. All of them are considered a star tip. I told you also a practice board. Now, you can purchase practice boards, or you can make a practice board. So in my class, I'm gonna you have that option. You can make a practice board, or you can purchase one. Like I said, all of these things that I am talking about, that I demonstrated uh, on in the previous things. I just want to let you know that you can get those things at my store at Amazon. Treasures OC 20. Okay. So we talked about that. And we talked about smoothing the icing. And I told you that sometimes they use the spatula to smooth the ice. And I told you also sometimes they use Beaver paper towel. Now, I did get some people that asked me why Beaver. I don't know what it is. The other towels don't work. The print on the towel will come off. But if you just take a Beaver towel and put it on top and rub it, it does make your cake smooth, because you want your cake to look like a pro. You want it to look like when you go to the bakery and stuff like that. And that's what this is all about, making it look like that. So I talked about that. What I did not talk about, and which I wanted to show you this evening, which is, I'm gonna take this real quick. Let me do this and bring myself back up, because I want to show you that sometimes when you're icing your cake, this comes. I had one, but I don't know what I did with it. I had one icer, but this is another one. It has three icing uh, things in it, and so sometimes you might want to. Let me see if I can get it out. Put a design on it. So if you look at this, you'll see that this one has some type of edge on it, so you can put it on the turntable and just turn it like this, and you'll get that design on the outside of your cake, and both sides has a different one. And like I said, I had one with just one of these in it, but I couldn't find it. I looked at it all week, and then when it came time for me to do my presentation tonight, I couldn't find it. So I used this one because I got lots of cake stuff. So like I said, each one of these is different. It's three of them in here, and they each have a different design on them. And if you want to get creative, sometimes you want to be creative with your cakes. But I want to let you know that you can decorate like a pro, and it's real easy. It's just easy, y'all. That's all I gotta say. It's easy. You'd be surprised how easy how easy it is. So I did want to show you these because I forgot to show you, and that is part of the accessories or the tools and things that we use as well. So I let me see where I am. Let's take a commercial. Let me see where I am. Okay. All right, we are back. I wanted to if you're interested in the Soul Lady wigs, they got some good sales going on right now, y'all. So really, really you can go there and look. I have let me see. Ooh, best viewers on Streamboat that remove the space. I don't know who that is, but thank you for coming on and saying your little comment on my podcast. I appreciate all viewers and comments. Okay. I don't know how that is prevalent to my cake decorating, but it's okay. It's okay. I guess he's advertising for another company, but not here. But anyway, if you're interested in the Soul Lady wigs, when you see me wearing a wig, it's a Soul Lady wigs. I love their wigs. Um, Full bodied wigs, and those pictures that you just saw is me wearing their wigs. I'm waiting. I'm right now. I'm saving up because they are pricely, and I'm not going to be honest. I'm not going to be. They are pricely, but they're well worth it. I love everyone that I have gotten. I love, and they have sent everyone that they have sent me. I have loved. Okay, so I just wanted to um, put that out there. But anyway, let's get back to this smoothing the ice, and we talked about that. And then I talked about the piping gel. And I told you that the piping gel usually comes in a little tub, and it's usually clear. I didn't have the piping gel. What I did was you can get a little tube of piping gel, and it comes in different colors. But you can also, because it's in the tub and it's clear, you can color it with food coloring with the Wilton, with any, the food decorating colors. You can color it with it. So you can, and it's that because I use black, and I showed you how you could transfer a design, and that's how I did the cupcake. I transferred that cupcake so that you could see um, how to transfer a design on a cupcake, and that was just one way doing doing that. Okay, let me move on. So I want to talk about common common cake mistakes and how to fix them. Okay, because when you're baking, you're not gonna be perfect, y'all. There is no way anyone is perfect in anything that we do. The thing about cake decorating is that you want to know how. First, you already know the mistake, but you want to know what caused the mistake so you don't do it again. And so that's what I'm giving you here: the mistakes, the cause, and the corrective tip. Okay. And I'm going to tell you all of these things have happened to me. Okay. And I think one is not on here. I don't know what's happening, but one, let me go back. I done did something here. But one is not on here, but that's okay. I'm going to tell you, I'll tell it to you anyway. The first mistake, the cake is dry. Woo. Have you ever, I had a cake and it was dry. It comes from over baking or using too much flour. That's all. That's all it is. It's just you over bake it and use too much flour. And I want to tell people that a cup is a cup. If it says a cup of flour, you want to use a cup of flour. You want to level it. Don't pile it up so you got a hump on top of the cup. That's more than a cup. Now, you got to learn how to decipher the terminology. So if it says a cup of sifted flour, you're gonna put the cup, the flour in the measuring cup, level it off, then sift it. That is your sifted cup of flour. So a lot of times people misinterpret the instructions. Okay, that's just one of the things. But with this, you want to use an oven thermometer, a spoon, and level your flour instead of scooping. Just what I just said. Cake sinks in the middle, under baking, or over mixing. So this is where you want to check for doneness with a toothpick and mix just until combined. Don't over mix it. Just mix it up until it is combined. And don't take it out of the oven to check it. Just pull the rack out, put your toothpick in. If it's not done, put it back in because and don't open and close the oven. When you put your cake in, this is what I always tell my students: when you put your cake in the oven, don't open that oven for 20 minutes. Because when you start opening the oven back and forth, you're changing the temperature on it. So don't open it for 20 minutes at least before you check on it. Okay. King. Cake has tunnel or holes. You open up the cake and there's little holes in it. That's just over mixed batter, y'all. We done over mixed it. So best thing to do with that is to mix it at a low speed, especially after you add the flour. And sometimes you'll get a recipe. It'll say add a cup of flour, then it's add an egg. In that type of series. And there's a reason for that, especially if you are doing a pound cake, because a pound cake there is no milk or liquid. So you need that egg and all of those things to do that. So, like I said, there's different types of ices, there's different types of cakes, there's just different types of everything. And so, like I said, course one is basically the foundation of cake decorating. Excuse me. So your cake has domes or cracks. Your oven is too hot, or you overfilled your pan. So what you want to do with that is you want to lower your temperature by 25 degrees, and then just fill your pan no more than 2/3. Basically, 2/3 is the going way to do it. Whether it's a cupcake, whatever, it's 2/3, because it is going to rise up. Okay. And then the cake sticks to the pan. Lord have mercy. How many of y'all had that happen? Insufficient greasing or flouring. And this is the old-fashioned way. You use parchment paper circles and proper pan prep. Okay. So remember in the old days, they would take the parchment paper and they would make the circle and put the parchment paper inside of the cake pan. That's so it wouldn't stick. Oh, those are old. Those are the days when they did all of those things. Okay, the last one, which is not on here, which I am going to tell you, is uneven baking. And you get the uneven baking when your oven is uneven heat. It's not giving the right heat. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Only way you can tell that is that um, you have an oven thermometer. That is the best investment that you could ever do, because you don't know whether or not your oven is set right. And the only way you can find out is that you use oven thermometer, because it will tell you, it just sits in there and you can look at it. It tells you what the temperature is. So when you want your cake to be baking at 350 degrees, it should be, the little line in there should be on 350 degrees, so that you know that you are decorating your cake properly. Okay. All right. So let me see. So this is what we've learned: the science behind key baking ingredients, the proper mixing techniques, creaming, folding, etc., the pan prep and baking temperatures know-how, leveling, torting, and stacking basics, because remember, I leveled, I torted, and then I stacked the cakes. I also talked about storage, transport, and freshness tips. So we've learned all of these things here in this little snippet of course one that I have given you. I think we're going to take another commercial. Yes, we're going to take another commercial, and then I'm going to come back and give you a brief summary of this. But I want to let you all know that even though this was a snippet and it seems like a lot, this was just part of lesson number one. So there are 4 lessons in each um, class. So Decorating Basic has 4 lessons. And in each one of those lessons, you learn a new technique. So the techniques that I kind of brought together here are basically some of the techniques that you would just find in lesson number one. I did not give all of the techniques, but I just gave you a little snippet of it so you'll know what to expect. And you know that in the other lessons, we'll be getting more so into practicing with the tips and doing things like that. Your final project for the thing is for you to bake a cake and put it in the student gallery. Um, but don't feel free to ask questions and do all of those things. And also, I have a group on Facebook which is called Bloom and Bake, and you can go there and you can join. And also, uh, I give little techniques and stuff like that. It will be a while before I can go live in that group because it is a new group. I had to start all over. So it is a new group. So, but I will be posting there as well so that you can see some of the things. And I did post that I would be going live so that you could learn because it was very prevalent for the Bloom and Bloom and Bake group. But I also want to let you know that if you're interested in the class, you will be able to sign up at that class at AnnasLifestylesLLC.com for that class there. I have not posted the date of the class. I know it's in September, but I will let you know when I do post it. So if you're interested in taking that class, once you have paid for the class, then you will get a supply list to let you know what you approximately need for the class. So don't wait too late to get into the class. That's why I started so early. So because there is a supply list. The course decorating basic is an intense class as well. So I do want to let you know that also if you're interested in advertising or sponsoring a commercial guest slots, you can secure a spot at info at AnnalifestylesLLC.com or CTRMediaNetwork.com. Sweet blessings, because I am a part of the CTR Media Network. If you are on Facebook, you can support me by giving me stars. And believe it or not, y'all, it does help when you give that. It's so much I need. I hate to say it, but it's so much. I need another light. My light broke. My ring light broke. So every little bit helps. I'm not, a thing. But also, if you see anything that you think that you might like or anything, remember, I'm just telling you, can go to my store as well. I'm asking that you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm trying to build there as well. And I go live with my Jazzy Jewels Collection.com. That is my website. I go live on Instagram with that on Thursdays at 7 p.m. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I go live on Facebook with my jury as well. So just to let you know a few things. I think I've covered everything that I needed to cover here. I'm hoping. I'm looking now to make sure because we're gonna go to a commercial. And then when I come back, I'm gonna give you a little summary of what I kind of talked over to today. Alrighty. All right, we are back. We are back. So I had this last slide here, And what it says is even professional bakers make mistakes. And it's important that you know that. What matters is how we learn from them. Keep practicing, stay patient, and never stop blooming. I can't wait to see what you create in the decorating basic class starting September 2nd, 2025. So I will be sending out notices and things like that for that, and with the time and everything on it. I'm still working on my packets. So as soon as I get that, I will put those things out for you. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for attending my Sweet Blessings podcast, where every treasure, where every conversation is a treasure. And you know what? I hope that somewhere in this evening that I have encouraged you. I hope that I have inspired you. And I'm hoping that I have empowered you to live a blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. Now, whether you want to do cake decorating as a hobby or whether you want to take it a little further professionally, I will tell you that I had all kinds in my classes. I've had students that have been on Cake Wars, the television program. I've had students that have been real creative with it. They make ice cream cakes and they decorate them. So I am blessed and I'm very fortunate to have encouraged people like that. And that's what my podcast is all about, encouraging you to better yourself and to have fun. It's all about having fun. So as I leave you this evening, you know I am going to leave you with my 3 L's. You know what they are. You want to live your life. Live, y'all. Live your life. It's important that you live your life and have fun with it. The second thing is that you want to laugh. Laughter is so good. It is so good for the soul. So make sure that you find some time in your daily life or everyday things to laugh and also to bring joy to others, you know. And then the last thing that you want to do is to love. And it's important to love. You know, they say that you're supposed to love everybody. I know it's difficult. You know, it really is. But I think you can do it. But I'm going to be honest with you. The most important person that you need to love is yourself. So I want you to have a great evening. I will be back here on next Wednesday, and we will be going on starting with uh, course 2, which is flowers. Now, in course 2, we're going to discover a new icing. So, like I told you, there's several type of icings. And so in course 2, and I'll be making that icing for you as well. But in course 2, it's basically flowers. So when you see the candy-like flowers on a cake, that's what you're going to do. So we're going to learn how to do royal icing, okay, and in course 2, okay, with the little snippets. Just remember that these are little snippets, okay? So just to give you a little taste about what is going on there. So I want to thank you all again. You know, I enjoy you. I enjoy this. I enjoy it immensely. So I'm going to leave out with a little thank you to some people because sometimes when I go on I'm on my computer tonight. You see how much better it is. When I'm on my phone, my cell phone, uh, is some of the features are not there. Now on my uh, Samsung, all the features are there, but I haven't learned how to work it yet. Okay, it looks for it's looking foreign to me. That's all I can say. Okay, but I have not been able to give them their due justice because they really helped me out a lot. So as we leave, I want to make sure that I put my sponsors and give people their recognition that they need for helping me out. So y'all.
Sweet blood.